From LA Late News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LA Late.
It's a big midday. It's a big holiday day here on Holidays LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Your recon is going to become a law in the next 2 weeks. Chuck Schumer says it's going to be passed by the Senate next week, but will it become a law thereafter? I'll have all the latest details breaking today. It's the recon finish line. The four stimulus checks are going to be robust. There's going to be a lot of checks in this four stimulus recon, upwards of $15,000, the biggest payout you ever see in the history of this channel. We're going to go over all those incredible checks in this incredible recon. But no time or place to wait for four stimulus recon to become law. You can get money today. This is your Christmas stimulus. This is third stimulus. I'm going to show you how to get this money today and how viewers have gotten on average $5,000 over the last 2 weeks. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the latest details about this stimulus. What's going on with that Federal Reserve and that major announcement happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. Meantime, it's Holidays LA, and you know what that means? It means that it's LA holding a teddy bear on set. A teddy bear on set. Yeah, I mean, how are you? Do you have my stimulus? Oh, are you voting for the recon? What do you say about Mitch? Your hair's a little bit better than Nancy's. It's a big Holidays LA, and in today's recording, we go over the beauty of plush when doing holidays, whether it's plush toys or whether it's a beautiful plush stocking. Those details and more, plus how to choose your ornament color-wise and how to make sure the texture is right as well. We have a lot coming up in this video as I try to, obviously, you can tell I've never changed a baby's diaper. But I can get you some stimulus. It's coming up right now as Holidays LA picks up its feet and its bare hooves as Holidays LA gets underway. For the excitement right now, direct from Santa Monica, California, here we go as Holidays LA gets underway. And good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day and happy holidays. That recon is going to become a law in just a few days. Leader Schumer representing the final vote will be happening by Christmas. That means this was going to become a law in this month. It will pay you a lot of money, upwards of about $15,000 across three classes of checks. Let's go over the big payout starting right now. They got in there hazard pay and elder care in that first cluster of checks. Also in that first cluster is money for children's care. The Pell Grant $550 check for my college students. They got the home repairs if you live in a low-income community, $3,600 of the CTC child tax credit for one more year approximately. And then they got $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufacturer. There's three clusters of checks and three add-ons that pay you a lot, multiple checks, many checks, at least $15,000. The first add-on comes from here in Southern California's own Maxine Waters. She got it in there. This is money to buy your first home. How do you get it? It's coming up later in this video. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less, and this is huge across the board. This is money that would be given to the seller in your name at the time of escrow for the purchase of your first home. Wow. Then in cluster number 2, lots of checks, home repairs, and paid leave. Let's look at those checks in that second cluster. Well, they also got the household tax credit. They also got the pre-kindergarten, and they got in that second cluster the weatherizing your home money to weatherize your home, because you never know when you have to winterize. No, that's winterize, not weatherize. Thank you for the nice comments of winterizing this set. The new floral decorations for this set for the holidays are now on set. What is behind me? It is a mixture of poinsettia plants, large and small. This is the large one. Back here is a smaller one going up in sort of a pyramid scheme. Then in the back, if I turn to this side, are 2 of those potato plants, which I featured in a previous holidays broadcast. Then I brought the orchids in there and wrapped them around there. I want to bring some holiday lights in as well. I haven't done that as well. And then you see some holiday ornaments hanging and some just sitting on the items across the board. More about that later in this video. Now let's go to the second add-on, which comes to the illustrious Bob Casey. He wanted to get it in there. How much did he want to give you? $250 billion for that big money for home health care and seniors on disabilities. He got a little bit less, and this is incredible money across the board. Again, this is Bob Casey, who wanted to give you $250, got a little bit less. Let's go to that third cluster of checks and starts right now. Third cluster is where we find the deliciousness. They got in there the money for the free school meals for all checks, the tax break checks, the cheaper prescription medication, the immigration reform. They got in there the free internet, the money for the farmers, and then the money for my seniors with Medicare expansion. 2 provisions done by the House and 3 coming from the Senate. On the House side, they got in there the Medicare expansion with the Medicaid gap fix and the hearing. Then when we turn to the Senate side, Bernie vows to add 3 provisions for Medicare expansion. They are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, which is consistent with what we're talking about when we're talking about that MSC. Those legislators represented back in the spring that they would be giving you 1 or more stimulus checks, multiple. And that is the acronym we created on this channel, referring to MSC, or multiple IRS stimulus checks. Now, there's multiple checks in this for stimulus recon, lots of it, that pay about $15,000, but MSC specifically refers to this instrument. And what have we learned over the last few months? Well, back in May, they said that the MSC would pay out the same way the third stimulus paid out, which a single individual, $75,000 or less, got it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, got it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits, you got it as well. It's not income. It's not taxable. It's offered across all United States. And it's also offered to adult dependents. Back in the month of May, I said, pick up the phone and advocate, and you did. Thousands of viewers were told it's going in there by 6 senators. But 2 weeks ago, the legislation landed in the Senate. And I said, now the ball's in their court. Pick up the phone and re-advocate. And you did really well. It started with Janet on this show, actually, picking up the phone and calling on Wednesday before Thanksgiving to Chuck Schumer's office and being told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Then Lynn Glenn picking up the phone and calling Chris Coons' office, being told it's going in there. Tyrell to Bob Casey, being told it's going in there. Then Bonnie being told by Liz Warren it's going in there. And then Donnie and his wife, Sharon, being told just days ago it's going in there as well. It's important for you to advocate, which involves picking up the phone and saying why you want it in there, because now we're at the final 2 weeks, and that important final advocacy is important. Who are those people you want to advocate to? Let's go over those senators' names right now. You want to advocate to Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Pick up the phone and call their staff and tell them why you need it. This channel has now delivered more than 8 million calls of advocacy across the country for inclusion of those items across the board. All right, so what is important to know as we go into a holidays show today? If you're new to this channel or new to this show, Holidays LA is a quick rundown of where the financial markets are and this subject for stimulus. And the second half of the show is about your holiday decorations and decor. Let's go over what you need to know about where this recon is going. So, Leader Schumer has been running two very different quotes the last few days. The first quote says the recon will pass the Senate by Christmas, which is next Friday, the 24th. The other quote that he's been saying is the forced stimulus recon will become law by Christmas. Now, there's a calendar issue at hand. He needs 1 day to vote on the Senate floor, 2 days for vote-a-rama. It's going back to the House because it's once you change one word or one punctuation, you go back to the House. That's 4 days. If he starts the voting next Monday, which is when he says he is, it's very, very, very tight to get it to law by the end of next week, which is Christmas. Can he get passed by the Senate next week? Yeah, he can get passed by the Senate next week. But to send it back to the House and get it law by Christmas, it's really tight. What do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to become law by the 27th, 28th, 29th. I think it needs a few extra days. Do I think the recon is becoming law in the month of December? Yes. Three equations at issue. First, conservative and liberal analysts both agree that the recon is becoming a law in the month of December. So everyone across the entire political spectrum believes it's happening. Number two, pragmatic, very diligent, very educated, long-standing Democratic senators say it's becoming law in December, like a Tim Kaine, who says, you can't do this in January. It's too inherently difficult in January. Why? Because there's a lot of provisions in this recon that are third stimulus provisions that are continuation provisions, and they've written them as a continuation of something that's law and live. If it becomes if it becomes inactive because it expired, then they have a big issue. And those provisions are in there. The way they extend them is becoming forced stimulus, becoming law in mid to late December. Those provisions expire January 15th, but you can't wait till last minute. The third reason is because Mitch had secret meetings with Chuck Schumer. We did not know as of just a few days ago that started before Halloween, in which Mitch reached out to Chuck and says, I want no procedural battles with you. Let's procedurally do things normally, like professional men, and then you can do this, and we'll substantively agree upon things substantively differently. And that is why they now have a clean schedule. Their calendars are clear. They have nothing left except the recon. They got the debt ceiling limit raised and done. They got the defense spending bill done and cleared. And now they have just this to be done. So I think it's going to become law. Now, you never heard me say this before on this channel until today. You need to watch every single video every single day over the next 2 weeks until this becomes law. And I'm going to hit this so loud and emphatically over the next few days for many, many reasons. One, the programs, the nuances of the programs, the value of the programs are all getting changed down to the 11th hour. So you can't just sort of tune in after the holidays and say, hey, what I miss? You missed just everything. Things are totally different. Well, what do you mean they changed everything? When did they change it? When you weren't watching. So if you like a provision, you can't just turn away. Number two, this is the time and place in which you have to be a PhD in these provisions. Why? Because you're a Purple Hawk. And what does Purple Hawk mean? It was before there was even an emoji, before there was a membership. It describes people who pounce, hawk, hawk, before anyone else to get the sums of money. To pounce and get these sums of money, you need to know what they are. And down to the hour, I'm going to show you every single provision, how you get it. Because when it becomes live, it's first come, first serve. The money is not going to be around there forever. It's first comes, first serve. So you need to be watching the recording, making notes saying, I want this provision, I want that provision, I want this one. Maybe you don't understand something. That's fine. Make notes, bring it to the live chat, and be ready to drop the questions. And I'll be modifying some of the videos so I can answer some of your questions as well. You need to know how to get every single penny when it becomes live. On Mornings LA today during the live chat, someone said, whatever happened to them adding SS200 to the forced stimulus recon? They were never adding the SS200 to the forced stimulus recon. So that was clearly a viewer, wasn't a member, of course, clearly a viewer who hadn't been watching for months and thought that that provision was in there. There was another person who was asking about a provision saying, how do I get it? That's a person who's laser focused, ready to pounce to get to those provisions. The next reason you need to be really focused is because this week the Senate parliamentarian is potentially removing provisions. She's potentially removing provisions. If they remove the provision, the money goes somewhere else. So it's really, really critical to watch for all these sums of money. You're definitely going to get at least $15,000 in this recon. Lots of checks, many, many different checks. You've been with this channel over the last year and you've gotten the sum of the money. The other reason you have to watch the next 14 days is because third stimulus is your holiday stimulus, is your Christmas stimulus. I brought it back on this channel 2 weeks ago. I'm so proud of you. The average viewer of this channel has gotten $5,000 in their hand the last 2, 3 days. And what is this for? It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. And because of that, you don't have to pay the rent bill this month, which is $1,000. You don't have to pay that $1,000. You have an extra $1,000 in your wallet. And I don't know how much money you spend on holiday gifts, but most people don't have to spend $1,000 on holiday gifts. Now you have enough money to buy holiday gifts for you and a few other people's with that rent paid. I had one viewer, May Lou, who hears my recordings, and I show you how to get these utilities. I said, get every utility. She got another one over the weekend. She got $700 paid for. That $700 that now is cleared up, cash that's staying in her wallet. And that's how you rock and roll. In the second half of this video, we go into our holidays decor. Today's video is about 3 subject matters. First, we're going to go over plush items in that holiday decor. The teddy bear, the stocking. Then we're going to go to holiday ornaments and the color schemes. And finally, we're going to go to holiday ornaments and the textures. Why the textures are so important. We'll go over more about the set. I'll be jumping in the live chat and answering your questions. We'll be talking about holiday decor. But the question going into the commercial break is, what are your favorite colors you like to use for holiday ornaments? Do you like the red? Do you like the blue? Do you like the silver? Do you like the gold? Drop in the live chat what colors, and if you say all the above, that's fine as well. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Holidays LA continues, but first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as we go into an exciting continuation of this broadcast, and see you then. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now as Holidays LA continues now live from Santa Monica, California. Before the commercial break, I asked you, what is your favorite colors for doing those holiday ornaments? Let's jump in the live chat and see some of the initial comments. If you haven't dropped your comment yet, just please do. Here's Connie. She likes red and gold and blue and white lights. Oh, very fascinating. Shirley Parker. She says, I like it red and blue. Let's see some of the other comments. Lisa Vaughn says, I like red and silver. Marie likes all the colors. Susan likes silver and red. Very fascinating across the board. If you haven't dropped your choice of colors, please do in the live chat. I'm in there. So let's turn to the plush toys or the plush decorations of the holiday season. Here we go. Are you voting for the recon? Say hi to the people. Hi, how are you? In this deliciousness of a doll, this is your maybe Paddington Santa. Look how he's dressed, just charming. He has a cute little bow on him. He has a little vest done in sort of a Scottish green and red pattern. Just a real incredible detail. His legs are green. His stomach is green. His face has a cute little chip, little smile. And his hands are moving. He's like, hey, how are you? Good to see you. I am voting for the recon. He has a cute little cap on. Very sort of Scottish in spirit, don't you think? And it's just so soft. Just very, very soft. He looks sort of like a Pyrenees dog. Just adorable little thing around the house. So when thinking about holiday when thinking about your Christmas decorations, don't worry about going outside the box. And if you see something, just grab it. That's one of the things I always talk about. Especially in the year like this, where there's supply chain issues, where there's a lot of stuff out there. You see something like this, grab it because you're never gonna see it again. This is just adorable. I think in all the years of shopping for holiday decor, I've never seen a plush doll like this for the holiday season. It's really quite adorable. His tag on the side says "Family Holiday Bears," so I guess it was a whole line. There was 4 or 5 different type of bears. They're all done by this one brand, and just really quite adorable. What's universal about it is that a lot of people would like it, older, younger, a lot of people would like it, and it just stays really well. Keep them wrapped in a bag at the end of the year. Don't keep them near the dining room table for the meals because he is pure white, so he is going to stain. And just keep him from season to season, and he is just adorable. You can see how soft he is. He has little furry little feet. He is just an adorable little character amongst himself. Now, the fur doesn't have to only be on the teddy bear or the bear ornament. It can also be in those stockings. We have talked a lot about put this buddy right here for a second. We've talked a lot about stockings, and I remember Ann was talking about stocking stuffers going to Dollar Tree store. So I like stockings for a much more aesthetic, sort of pleasing way. So this is a gorgeous plush stocking. This is from Target. This from Target, maybe 2 seasons ago. Actually, I think it may have been last year. Look at it. It has 2 little balls hanging on the side. It is long, really quite long. It is very, very rich and decadent. Has a sateen surface at the top. Has a beautiful little rope tie, and then has these 2 little balls hanging from the side. Really incredible. Pair him with this. You see how it is really just a lot of hominess. You just feel very comfortable in a home that has the softness in there. You can go into some homes for Christmas and you see the decorations. You're just like, that is just very austere. It just feels very stiff, like a lot of stiff people live in that house. The softer the items are, the softer you feel across the board. And that is why I like to go with something very plush and simple like this. Let me jump back in the live chat and see some more of your comments of what you said about those holiday ornaments and what type of colors you like to go with. There is Anne. She's going back to the Dollar Tree store right now. There you go. Let's see some more of your comments about what color schemes you like to go with those holiday ornaments. We had a lot of 3 color schemes for people. Very, very interesting. Bob Bacon likes old-fashioned bulbs. The older, the better. I like that as well. Let me see some of the other. There is Jacqueline says, I love all the colors. Very interesting. Candy Cane says Rob Knowles. That bear is so cute, says Shirley Parker. He is cute. Here's Lynn McElroy. She likes silver, green, and red. Very interesting. There you go. Bob Bacon likes silver and blue balls, white lights. So silver and blue and white lights. So he has a very distinct color pattern. You can sort of visualize that, can't you? The silver and then the blue. So they're very different color schemes. And then the white. There's Jacqueline. She likes red, silver, and white. Very, very interesting across the board. So it's very interesting. People have very, very opinionated choices when it comes to their colors. Let me put this kid over to the side. When choosing your colors for that tree, there are 2 ways to really choose them. One way is to stay in one color hue or universe of color hue, and another one is to have a contrast. Most viewers were doing that contrast, like Bob Bacon. He was doing that blue and silver and then white. Here's an example of one color scheme. Gold, silver, and versions of gold, silver. The other version of that is gold, silver, red. Because you bring the red in and then suddenly it pops. My experience is it was a few seasons ago where gold and silver was very popular. I think it was maybe 5 years ago where gold and silver was very, very popular for your holiday ornaments. I tried it. It was beautiful with white lights, but it was very stiff. It was very stiff because you see that green with the gold and silver and just the white. it gets sort of a wash out effect. Now, as soon as you bring maybe 20% of your bulbs, or 20% of your balls, or 10% of your balls at red, when everything else is gold and silver, it suddenly pops. So give yourself the opportunity. If you're doing a one single color scheme, silver and gold, and you're looking at it and you're like, bring out a red ball and put 2 or 3 of them, just a few, not a lot, and suddenly you'll see that pop across the board. Now, there have been years where I've done all red and all green. It's a little overwhelming, to say the least. Now, here is an example of an offering from, I think this is Target, that was last season. This was gold, and this was a gold box. The gold is not a true gold, so you see it's a gold and silverish. And because they have different textures, you have the smoked ball. And let me show you the smoked ball, which is not a true gold. So you have to be careful with this when you're choosing your colors. Then understand you're not going with this is, I don't know what I'm watching myself now on camera. So yeah, it is really not a true gold. It is more a silver gold. And even this ornament, which is supposed to be gold, is really super silvery. The reason why I'm telling you the importance of this is that this will make a difference. The contrast works. That's what Target was really going for. That basically they think that people are going to choose multiple items in the same hue pattern, the same family, and get that contrast. It works. It does work. So you could use all these ornaments on one tree and get a contrast, even though they are very, very, very similar in color. What I like to do is if I'm going in a singular color scheme, gold, silver, I like that contrast. Lighter golds, darker golds. Now, I like to also go with the different textures. You're going to get a very different effect. This is a frosted, sparkle ball. So this has a very distinct effect. Now, this one is a mirror ball, so it has a reflective. I can see my face actually in the ball with the light. So this will reflect. The mats won't give a reflected effect, so they will devour the light. They will consume the light and not reflect it back at you. So if you're trying to get a sparkling effect, the mirror balls will do it. The flat balls will not. Now, most balls don't really move on a tree, so you're not going to get that movement. It's going to be flat, and I can even see it on the camera. You can see the reflection on the camera. When you're doing your lights, this is important for your ball. Your lights are either on strobe or they are flat, meaning they're either blinking, slow, fast. Maybe you have the 3 settings on those lights. They're either blinking or they're flat. If they're flat, you're not going to get the reflective effect on the mirrored balls. If they're blinking, you are going to see that from the other room. You're going to see that from the other room. You're going to see that blinking light in that mirrored ball. So it determines what type of ball you're doing based upon the look. This type of ball with all white lights, stagnant, not blinking, is a very serene look, very pristine, very, very elegant look. If you're doing red, mostly gold and silver, but with spots of red, and then you're bringing in a blinking light, then you're gonna get that real blink factor in that tree. Very, very different look across the board. Let me see some of the comments across the board. Sandy wants musical lights. Of course you do. There you are. Let's see. Cheryl, she says, "Happy holidays. I'm going to have a baby 2 days before Christmas." Oh, wow. Cheryl Miller is having a baby 2 days before Christmas. Wow. So I guess it's the 22nd. Well, so that is very exciting. Merry Christmas and happy baby birth to Cheryl Miller in the live chat right now. That's exciting. Wow. Very, very exciting across the board. There's Janet Carmen says happy holidays with some beautiful emojis. Lala, I haven't been able to keep up with you lately. Oh, well, thank you for joining us, Lala. Very, very kind across the board. So let's go to some other ornaments here. So these are very, very silver balls, but they have a lot of white in them. So these balls were from a different purchase, and they really, and again, we're going with that mirror effect, so I can see myself in the mirror ball. What I also like to do is rotate the sizing. So big balls, small balls, big balls, small balls. Please do not only put the big balls in one part of the tree. It looks really weird. And also step back a little bit when you're putting them up there. You don't want to put a lot of big balls at the top of the tree where the tree doesn't have a lot of width to it. It looks sort of weird. It looks a little weird. So give yourself some extra allotment on the sideline for some smaller balls when you get to the top of the tree. Here is from that same collection. Again, this has a mirror to it, so it's good. It's going to get that reflection. And you can see its reflection right now in the camera. See behind me, we have on the set, let me come into back into my frame here. You see on the set, I have put some balls, and they are not really reflecting the light because they are flat. Here's one here. It has a little bit of shine to it. There's one here. I'm sort of defying my promise to you to do different textures. They're the same ball, just different colors. Here's a very different ball up in the corner. That is getting a nice reflective effect. So you see right here, in which I'm trying to replicate the flavoring of a tree. I don't even have the Christmas lights on the set at all yet. I gotta get doing this, don't I? And you can see how that ball is creating sort of a mirrored effect in the light there across the board. See the ball, let's go this way, there. Oh, this wall, this hand, right here. This ball right behind me, again, is in that same matte hue, not creating that mirrored effect. What do I recommend? I recommend choosing a color scheme, trying it out, and going with it. I like what Bob Bacon did, which was he sort of knew what he wanted to do and go with it. What I don't like is every color in the world. I don't like every color in the world on the tree. I just think it's a little too much. And everyone has that special ornament, that ornament that's sort of different. They bought one of it. It was a special occasion that they bought that ornament. And that ornament's going to have every color in the sky in it. I got one yesterday. I saw one yesterday. So, you know, if you have that tree and you're going with your stock color pattern, blue and gold or blue and silver or whatever it is, and then suddenly you bring in that ornament, and it's a bear ornament, and he's all green and purple and blue. That is where your digression is going to be. It's going to be fine because it's showcasing that ornament. Remember, when you keep the background all in a single universe, silver, gold, and you bring in that showcase ornament, he's going to pop more because he has a stock background behind it. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. If you do a lot of red, if you do a lot of different colors, red with the silver and gold, red with the silver and gold, and suddenly you bring in another ornament, he's not going to be as much a focal point unless you walk up really close next to him across the board. Let me jump back in the live chat and see some of your comments right now. I only have homemade ornaments for my kids throughout the 31 years. Wow, that is wonderful. And that is incredible. The poinsettias are very festively decorated. I love that, Cam. Thank you so much. It needs to be done better. It needs to be done a little bit more. Here are my comments about my own set. Here are my own comments about my own set. It is hard by the perspective to show the poinsettia. So I would have liked the poinsettias to be lower and the camera angle so you'd be looking into the poinsettias. You know, when you're doing a poinsettia, they're the green branches, which are green, which is not the color. And then you have the poinsettia flat plant above it. So you have to be looking down. There's a lot more green that I would have liked. The other issue is by choosing all of them in the same poinsettia plant, it sort of became a sort of rainfall of that color scheme. And that is why I really brought the orchids back into the set, because I originally had just done poinsettia. And I said, it's just too much poinsettia. It's too much of one color. It was just all this sort of burst of that color of that poinsettia. So that's why I brought in the small orchids in the foreground, the big orchids in the background. The green, let me go that way. The green potato plant. There's two of them, one there and the other there. I like it. I didn't on the afternoon show coming up at 3 o'clock today, where it was sort of dark when I was recording. You can't see it as much. I like it when there's a lot of sun because there was not much sun earlier today, and you can see that light coming in. So then that's going to reflect that poinsettia. Last year, my perspective was different on the set. I was on that side. I was over on that side, so I was able to drape a garland with a lot of lights. This year has been sort of a challenge figuring out how to do a Christmas set behind me, and I didn't want to sort of like collapse everything and start from scratch. I want to sort of work on what we already were going with. And I didn't want to do something tacky like putting lights on the surfboard, which I still may do. But you know, the concept I'm going with is that the potato plants will get some lights on them, Christmas lights. The other thing you never knew about, which I never talked about last year ever, is that when I had that garland behind me in that 2020 set, maybe I actually have a video of it. The lights are hot. The lights are hot. The production lights I have on this set are all LED, so I don't feel any heat. But those Christmas lights, you know, the circa 1970 Christmas lights, they're hot, and you're sitting next to them, and you're like, oh Lord, let me jump into this. Let me see if I can pull it up and see if I can show it to you here. Oh, I can't. I can't. So let me pull up the video so you can see it right there. So that was last year. You see last year, yeah. So those lights, very, very, very hot on set last year. It was miserably hot. I mean, my eyes were burning. Yeah. So take it as a consideration. If you're decorating your office and you're putting Christmas lights really close to where you're working, you're going to feel the heat in a way you're going to be uncomfortable. And I adored that look last year. It was gorgeous. It was very, very green. But in that angle, it was very easy to hang the garland. There's not a lot of opportunity stuff to hang. My perspective is lower this year because I'm lower seated, so I don't have a lot of place to hang stuff across the board. I don't think you can see it. Oh, yeah, you can. The corner was a poinsettia plant last year, but that was fake. And I sort of talked about how it was fake last year. Of course, the reef was fake as well, but it certainly achieved an effect across the board. Let me jump in the live chat and see some of your comments across the board. Here we go. Mary, I also put candy canes. Yes, candy canes, absolutely wonderful across the board. Karen McNabb says, I like blue and red and gold. Lot of blue ornaments. That is one of the few colors I don't get into. I don't go into the blue. I don't get the poinsettia if I have a cat, maybe in another room. I've heard a lot of things about the points about cat problems. I even heard at the supermarket someone say, I can't have plants because the cat problems. I don't, it's all over the place. Earlier, before I went on air, I got a private message from Crayola, who you certainly know, one of the volunteers. He told me that he had learned minutes ago before I went on air that Crystal, who is one of the volunteers, Pookie, depending on how you pronounce it, Crystal is in the emergency room right now. So send your prayers to Crystal and ask for her speedy recovery. That again is Crystal, one of the volunteers this channel. She's in the emergency room, and she also asked for your prayers as well. So she's fully responsive and aware of the situations. It's a fluid situation at the moment. I don't know much about it, nor does Crayola. So please include Crystal in your prayers as well. Going back to the decorations, one of the things I saw yesterday, I was just speechless. I don't want to say what department store it was, but there was one department store I used to love growing up as a kid, going and seeing the Christmas ornaments because they were next level. They were really, really next level, works of art. And I went in there yesterday, and it's not a store I usually go into. And I thought it was in the basement where, oh no, it's on the third floor. Okay, third floor. I thought that's where the cafeteria is. So I went up to the third floor, and I'm like, where's the Christmas display? I thought, you would assume the Christmas display is next to the elevator because it's, it's Christmas. They're trying to sell it. And then I saw a room that said something like Santa's shop, all done in glass. I'm like, oh, pretty. And I walk in, and the Christmas room was about the size of the set. The Christmas room was about the size of the set. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I looked at it, the beautiful ornaments, and I'm looking around, and I looked at some of the labels, and I said, oh, made in China. they're all made in China, so they couldn't get them on the port or expect them to get to the store by Christmas, or they sold them out. You know, we detailed them a lot about one of the #1 home improvement stores here in Los Angeles. Their Christmas section is gone. It's been gone since Thanksgiving. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I mean, zero. Their entire Christmas department, which is usually about, I'd say about a quarter of a football field, gone since Thanksgiving. The online retailers, Walmart and Amazon. I went on Walmart. I wanted some colors. I saw one colors. I went back another day. It was gone. Sold out of all color lights. So the supply chain issue is very much at issue across the board. Finally, to end with a very funny story, was after I left the holiday room, holiday decor room, there was one item I liked, and it was up. I'm relatively tall. I couldn't reach it. I guess, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could reach it. But I like that ornament up there. So I went to one of the registers people. I said, I want to see that ornament. They said, we don't have employees for that. Can't get employees. There's no Santa workshop employees. So I guess if you go back to that store, that ornament up really high, unless you're, you know, unless you're a point guard or a center for an NBA football, basketball team, it's still going to be there because no one's going to be able to reach that ornament to buy it. Lastly, after I had made my little walk around to figure out what's going on with this store, near the restrooms, they had a cologne display. And there was beautiful display. They're really trying to push the colognes. And I got one of the colognes, and I was already wearing cologne, of course. And I got one of the colognes, and I'm like, okay, let me just test it. Smelled wonderful. So I sprayed myself, it was a spray cologne, sprayed myself here, my arm, and like one of the spots. I think I did like 3 sprays, not a lot. And I said, this is wonderful. I'm like, this is really like, not strong, like it you don't tolerate, just sort of like it seems like it's a next generation high-tech spray, because I could sense that if I walked down a hall, you could smell me a mile away. It just sensed like they had put something in this cologne that it's so good that it just, you can smell it 2 blocks away. So needless to say, 8 hours later, it was still there. The set on me. 8 hours later, it was still there. Took a shower, still on me. The next today, took a shower, still smelling it. In the car, still smelling it. I don't know what they're making the colognes out of this holiday season, but the smell is still not going away. It's almost gone now, like after 2 baths. And I think it's now almost 16 hours. The scent is starting to go away. It's a wonderful scent. I love it. I buy the cologne. But boy, I think they're doing something new, high tech with these colognes so they can last, you know, to the 6th stimulus package. And with that, let's jump back on the live chat and see some of your comments. Do you smell wonderful? I hope you all smell. We do not have a smell guard on this channel, so I can't smell you, and you can't smell me, but I assume you smell wonderful across the board. Let me see some of the comments across the board. Yeah, it would be sensational. Someone said if we could smell each other. I think some of you smell well, but I don't know about all of you. Which crystal is in the ER? So Sandy, the Crystal Hunter, Crayola's Pookie. The Crystal Hunter is in the ER. So send your thoughts and prayers for Crystal Hunter, the volunteer for this channel. And making hysterical jokes about the smell. And there you go. Join me next on Afternoons LA. It's coming up at 1 o'clock. And then we have a brand new Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock. Then we have Evenings LA at 5 o'clock. If you missed the top of this recording, the details was that Chuck believes he's going to get this recon to a Senate vote by Christmas. I think he can. Getting it to a law by Christmas will require a few more days. It's very, very tight. He can get it done because Christmas, I believe, is Friday. So it would be 4 days of nonstop voting. I think I can get it done. The message I'm delivering on camera all this week to viewers of this channel and next week is you absolutely, positively must watch every single video between now and the next 2 weeks, because provisions are coming out of the recon, getting reduced to the recon, getting added to the recon. You need to know every single penny that's in there, because if you tune in after 2 weeks and the item are gone, you're not going to know it's gone, and you're going to be looking forward and then saying whatever happened to it, and you will have missed the news. Number two, as soon as it becomes law, a lot of these programs will go live relatively quickly. And you're going to want to pounce as a Purple Hawk to get this money first come, first serve, just like Third Stimulus. When Third Stimulus became law, I said, let's get this money right this moment. And you're going to be ready to pounce as a Purple Hawk. You need to know what the programs are. So, new to this channel, on the holidays, LA shows when they're live, bring your comments about the programs. LA, how do I get this? How do I get that when it becomes law? You know, of course, it's not law yet, but when it becomes law. We'll be adding more of those interactive features to this channel in the next few days as well. First, subscribe. Second, like this video. And third, stay with this channel because afternoon's 1 o'clock show is coming up next. Send your prayers again for Crystal Hunter in the ER. Don't know the situation just yet. She is watching from the ER, I am told, and ask for your prayers and her speedy recovery. And with that, join me next on the afternoon show coming up next. And stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.